You know that feeling when you realize that your job isn't it? Yeah, me too. Hi, I'm Catherine and welcome to my YouTube channel, Project.catherine. I've actually been on social media for the last 4 years and I've always wanted to start a YouTube channel but just never had the time because I was working full-time in corporate. Social media would pretty much take up my weekends, and trying to balance that with seeing friends and family, it would have been a lot to do YouTube as well. So this year I'm turning 30. I left the corporate world to pursue full-time content creation, and I'm also launching a sustainable fashion brand later this year. Honestly, I think it's going to be such a crazy year and I have no idea what to expect, but I'm going to take you along for the ride, so hit that subscribe button. So last month, I quit. So let's talk about it. Here's a little backstory. So I've been in the construction industry for the last 7 years on and off. I studied a bachelor's in architectural studies at UNSW, worked in the field for about a year and a half, realized that I didn't want to be a drafting monkey, so I enrolled myself back into uni to study a master's of project management, majoring in construction. Whilst I was studying my master's, I was awarded a scholarship which included prize money but also an internship at one of Australia's largest project management firms. But honestly, I didn't like that job either because they were working on very large, complex infrastructure projects like building roads and bridges. I was not interested at all. It was very, very boring. That's when I experienced my first burnout and was diagnosed with anxiety. I was not in a great mental state at that point. I just really didn't like my job at all. Fast forward, my partner and I decided to move overseas for a year. We lived in the Netherlands, specifically Rotterdam, which was incredible. If you want a YouTube video on that, I can do that. Sadly, we had to come back because our visa was only a working holiday and it was only for a year long. Shortly after coming back, I landed what I thought was my dream role at a boutique client-side project management firm, and I stayed at this company for just over 4 years. It was really great because I was exposed to the whole project life cycle. So that meant I was growing and learning really fast. I was pushing myself to climb that corporate ladder so that I could achieve big things at such a young age. But soon I experienced my second burnout, and after that, my priorities really shifted. I decided to focus on just producing average work, setting boundaries like clocking off exactly at 6 p.m. and then going to the gym, but that didn't really work. And then the grind all just started happening again. Then 6 months ago, I experienced my third burnout, and I seriously considered this time leaving for a less intense job. So I had a chat with my director about my mental health and my workload. And then he said something that completely changed my perspective. He said that I needed to find my core values. And that's when everything started to shift for me. I took a moment to sit down and reflect, what are my core values? After doing several questionnaires, which I can link in the description below, I realized that my core values are creativity, freedom, and well-being. At the time, I didn't think much into it. But in the second week of this year, all the stress and anxiety from the previous year hit me so hard. And during that Christmas break, I was just thinking about the mountain of work that was just waiting for me to start working on as soon as I returned. And so I was dreading coming back to work in 2025. And that's why I ended up having a mental breakdown just the second week back at work. So the day after my mental breakdown, I saw my doctor and she advised me that I should take 2 weeks sick leave to regulate my nervous system, see my therapist, and to really consider about resigning from my job, because she was like, this is one of the root causes of your stress. So during that time, it finally hit me that my job doesn't align with my values. And then I asked myself, why am I putting so much energy to build someone else's dream when I should be putting that energy to build my own? Okay, so let's be real, quitting was terrifying. Over the 2-week period, my head was all over the place. So at the end of my 2 weeks sick leave, without going into a lot of details, I handed in my resignation letter and my company let me leave without serving a notice period, which I'm really grateful for because I was not in the right mental state. I did have a sense of guilt because I didn't get to do a handover with my team members. I was on a few large projects as well, so I had a lot of priorities that I was looking after, and I was just like leaving my obligations hanging. But it was the right thing that I had to do at that point in time. And financially, I know it's not going to be easy. I was making 150K plus at my job, and my social media does not make near that figure. I also have a mortgage. I'm getting married. I'm turning 30 and I really wanted a big birthday party this year because I haven't had a birthday in a really long time. My biggest supporter, my partner, he was just like, look, this is a really good time for you to leave corporate life before, you're in your late 30s. You might as well take that risk now to work on something that you want to do. And you also have a rainy day funds that should be able to last you for the next couple of months. And there has been moments over the past month where I would get super anxious about my financial position, but then I would have to reground myself and say, hey, let's address this worry in the future, but for now, let's focus on the present. So what am I doing now? Since resigning, I've actually been really busy. I had my hens, I've attended a few influencer events and also collaborated with a few brands as well this month. Um, I got sick last week, so I'm now just like focusing on slowing down, getting into a really good rhythm, saying no to things when I just don't feel like it, because I really do need to rest before my wedding in April. I'm definitely feeling really nervous about the uncertainty and the challenges ahead of me. But honestly, I'm so proud I had the courage to quit my job and focus on what truly excites me. If you've ever thought about quitting a job, maybe this is your sign. Let me know in the comments and let's talk about it. If you enjoyed this chit chat, like my video and subscribe to my channel because there'll be more of this. See you next time.